Good morning. Can everybody see us? First in line, crap.
See us?
You can't. Just a second, Michelle, let's turn her phone off.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it started. Good morning.
Hey, Crafty.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, we're excited. Whee! Our first live stream.
Robert. Marty. Sorry. I could put these on so I can actually see things,
Yeah.
but then I'll look kind of funny. Hello, Don. Hello, Marty. Crafty. Therese, is that how you pronounce your name?
Stuffy.
Meant to be RVing. Hey, guys. Alright, so what's the first question here? I'm going to read it, Michelle, so I don't have to have my glasses on.
So.
No, on here.
Curious if able to get some basic supplies while we're out on the road, such as milk, bread, and the
TP on there?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yes. I ran to Costco. It was a week and a day ago, and got stocked up on a bunch of supplies. Probably spent more than we ever have at Costco. Gosh. And now there was no paper supplies, no paper towels, anything. So that evening, Michelle and I went and drove around, and we finally found some at, what was that,
Dollar
store?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dollar General. So we kind of got a little stocked up. We didn't take as much as you see a lot of people taking. We just got a few and tried to get us by for a little while. We haven't been back to the store yet. We've been right here in the park. Just work all week, and in the evenings we just try to get out and just go for a walk right here in the park.
And wave at the other people.
From a distance.
From a distance.
Hi. And they're doing the same.
Yeah.
Good morning.
So far, we have heard that a lot of RV parks are closing down, state parks. We've kind of been keeping track on the Campendium site, but so far it hasn't, changed our travel plans. But we are still staying in the Thousand Trails Encore parks, and that hasn't changed yet, so crossing our fingers.
Now, we were doing a test yesterday on this live stream, and it seemed like it was ranging from a 3-second all the way up to a 30-second delay. So if we're not responding to something quick enough, that's why. Hopefully it's not buffering for you guys. Of course, that would be could be a connection issue on either end. But let's see if we got any questions here. I'm going to have to let you read these.
One, Crafty Clark says, what has been our favorite place so far? Oh my goodness. There are so many.
So many, and for different reasons.
Yeah.
For Michelle, as you all know, the coconut cream pie.
The best pie. I'm still very partial to Palm Springs. We wintered there last year and just loved the area. And, of course, Sherman's Deli. Shout out to Sherman's Deli. That has the best coconut cream pie I've ever had. And they have 2 locations. But where else? Where else have we been? Because we went all up the coast last year.
Yeah, quite a few places. But that's probably our number one. I'm a little partial to Vegas. I love the Vegas area, even though we don't gamble.
Yeah.
We just like it there. There's so much to do and to entertain you. Wouldn't be a good time right now, but
right. I'd say also at the top of the list is the Keys, the Florida Keys that we just went to over Christmas. So we stayed in an Encore Park there, Sunshine Keys, and really liked that area.
Yeah. We got a lot of questions.
we're just excited. Everybody's on here. Oh my goodness!
Why are you so damn funny? That's hilarious.
Well, that's him. It's just his nature.
She just doesn't show it much on camera.
Bounce it back and forth a little bit. Bounce off of each other.
We tease each other a lot. I hope it doesn't come off sometimes that either one of us is being rude. Yeah. Especially me, because I'll give feedback. We laugh at each other all the time, and I think that's really important. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. We laugh constantly, and we can joke around at each other, and we'll laugh together.
Yeah. There's a lot of sarcasm going on.
Yeah. Gosh.
What's our hardest struggle with the current events? Oh my gosh, we like to go out and eat.
Yes.
Again, with the food.
Usually Friday evenings is our time that we usually go and have Mexican.
Yeah.
And we found just a couple weeks ago was our new favorite Mexican restaurant, and now we're like having withdrawals.
Yes. So that and we like to be social. We like to stay in the parks that are more of a resort where there's around a lot of things to do. So I'd say the struggle is the whole social distancing for us. I mean, we like to be around people.
Yeah, let's make sure. It's going to be hard to get everybody's questions here, but we'll go through these when we're done
and make sure that
and try to make sure we answer everybody. Top pitfalls thus far, from Don Ritchie. Top pitfalls.
Well, I thought of one because we do access the Thousand Trails and Encore system. It's when we leave the coast, because they are on mostly the coast and Gulf sides. Very little in the Midwest. And so we have family in Iowa that we want to go visit. So, I mean, that makes it harder to cost effectively, I guess you would say, to stay within a budget, because once we leave the Thousand Trails system, then we're paying out of our pocket. We do still have memberships to RPI, Passport America. What's the other ones? Harvest Host. So we can try to, at least get discounts at some places. But.
Yeah. And then when we travel back to visit family in Iowa, we can't utilize pretty much any of those. There's some of them that are, but they're actually a little distance outside of Des Moines. Right. So we just stay right in Des Moines and use in that area. There's Saylorville Lake that has Corps Engineer Parks. Their engineers parks are really nice.
They are very nice.
A lot of them don't have the sewer hookup, but they have the dump station, of course.
Yeah.
Which is not a huge deal, but it's nice having all your hookups always. And then there's a place called Adventureland. It's right next to Prairie Meadows Casino. Adventureland is, if you're not familiar with that, it's an amusement park, and then they have a campground resort there. And if you stay 2 weeks or more, they drop the rate down to $21.40 a night. So it costs us more when we go back to visit family. Sorry, it's cord about that. If anybody's curious about that.
Yeah. Don't go to Des Moines during the state fair.
Oh gosh.
Which we did last year in August.
It's hard to get reservations.
Everything's booked.
We got a bunch of people on here that we need to thank you guys, everybody, for
so much.
Us. Hey, take a minute and hit that big thumbs up down there. It's not so big, I guess, but just click it. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Every little bit helps. All the likes, the shares, comments,
all that activity.
Subscribers. Yeah. And speaking of that, we noticed that on our analytics that 81% of our viewers are not subscribed. That was kind of shocking.
It was.
To us, but it all helps. It helps the YouTube put our videos out to more people. And there's not a lot of money made, if you're curious about that, with the YouTube, especially with the ads. But there's other avenues that you can work on if you're curious about doing that. But it all helps.
Right, because the more activity, like the views and the comments, that activity is what YouTube sees.
Mm-hmm.
The more activity, then they will recommend our videos more often. And again, that just brings them out to the public, and that's what we want. We want the viewers to see us and hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. So.
Crafty, LOL, real life. Meant to be RVing. Congratulations on your first live. Thank you. Gosh, we're way behind.
I know. That's what happens when you just like chat. Some people have asked, like...
Oh, there's Bill. We met Bill at Walmart
Walmart, Bill!
in Claremont. That's just a suburb of Orlando.
Yeah. I think we were getting our last supply of TP there.
Yeah, thanks, Bill, again for stopping us and saying hi.
We're sorry we did not have any stickers with us at the time. I feel so bad.
He's probably like, who wants a sticker?
Yeah.
What has your favorite place been? We've already been there.
Yeah. You're behind.
We already did that. Yeah. Our epic RV adventure. Hello, everyone.
So some people have asked, like, what do we do for work? Because we are not retired. We are in our 50s, but we are not retired, unfortunately. I still have my same full-time job at the company that I worked for before we did this full-time lifestyle, I guess you'd say. And they, when we presented to them the idea of, this is what we're going to do. We're going to, sell our house and go full-time RVing and travel. And but long story short, they graciously allowed me to stay on and work full-time, or in remote work. In my particular position, which is a payroll accountant, in my department, nobody has ever done that before. It's not full-time work remotely. So it was a very big deal, I want to say, for them to do that. And we met with IT managers and to get the game plan of what I needed to do to make that work.
If you're wondering why I'm smiling so much, it's because I typically don't give her very much caffeine in the mornings, so I gave her a little extra today so that she would talk a little bit more.
Can you tell?
And it's working.
Yeah. Now I don't shut up. This is what happened when.
No, that's good. That's good. But what I think mainly what the people would like to know is when we first thought about doing this. Michelle didn't think her company would let her go full-time RVing. Yeah. So did some research online, found a place called Flex Jobs, FLEXJOBS, and it's a woman owns the company, and it's not that matters, but and all the jobs are all verified, and so she had originally applied on there and got a job, and then once her company found out she got the job, and they say, hey, if we make this work, will you come back? And we promise we'll make it work.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So don't ever give up. Don't think that your job is not going to allow you to work remotely unless you work at a convenience store or an EMT or in the hospital.
But I would say, ask if you're in a type of job that you feel like you can go remote, present that to your company. Don't do what I did and just assume. We all know what assume means, that they won't do it. But there are other avenues. I mean, like Brian said, the Flex Jobs website and job search and everything. But so
thanks, Crafty. Appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
Have you found your next RV yet?
Oh my goodness.
No, we're still in Vinny.
Pulling hair out.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we wanted to do this weekend because we have a couple big RV dealerships next to us right now, but we're thinking it might not be a good idea to go, even though it shouldn't be big crowds. Just never know.
We could work the roads.
We got any more questions here we need to be answering?
Oh.
We're trying to catch up here.
Yeah. Next exit is asking, do we have any concerns with our 1,000 Trails reservations? Well, I have been checking the website occasionally, and so far, I didn't check it yet this morning, but so far they haven't mentioned any 1,000 Trails actually closing. Basically what they have done is they've stopped all group activities, they've closed the pools, so...
Yeah, we've noticed here at this campground, and they did this right when we left 1,000 Trails, and we came to an encore, which is
in the Trails collection.
In the Trails collection, part of 1,000 Trails. That everybody's just basically walking around. We did see a group of 13 people playing bocce ball the other night, and they asked us to play, and we passed. And I told Michelle, I should say, 3 of you need to leave.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a group of 10 or less.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Right.
And then
the other night,
2 nights ago, there was a group on the basketball court, and they had a boombox out playing some music, and they were line dancing. I thought that was kind of neat.
With a little distance between them all. It was cute.
About 6 feet apart, each of them.
Yeah.
But, squirrel.
Yeah, that was a squirrel moment.
What was the, where were we at here?
We were just still trying to look at.
Oh, the 1,000 Trails. Honestly, I don't think that 1,000 Trails will shut their parks down completely. They know they have a lot of full-timers, and it would cause havoc if they did that. I think that just doing what they're doing is working. Everybody's got their own place, like you would in a home, your own lot that you're in, so just keep your distance, and they might change the check-in process maybe. I can see them doing that, so there's not so much interaction that way with their staff, but I don't think they'll shut them down. They have, a lot of these resorts and campgrounds have people that are annuals, stay here all year, and have little homes. Some of them have like trailers, mobile homes that they'll come just for the winter too, the snowbirds. So I don't think we'll have an issue with that. The state parks now, we know a lot of them already closed.
Oh yeah, been quite a few of them, and and some Corps of Engineers. We noticed back in Iowa.
Hola from New Mexico, MZ. New Horizons. Are you finding campgrounds shutting down more and more? Not since we're in the 1,000 Trails program. That's all we've been staying.
Right.
We try to utilize that as much as possible because it doesn't cost us any extra.
Right.
Sorry if I keep bumping the camera here.
So while we're still kind of looking through here, to get back to the working remotely, I work 40 hours a week. I still have my same schedule, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And then Brian.
Yeah, if you're thinking about doing a YouTube channel, and a lot of you guys on here, I can see some of you have YouTube channels. We recognize the names. It's a ton of work. You ask any of them, and they'll tell you. And it really depends on how much editing you do. If you do live feeds, there's not a lot of work to that. Really, actually, there kind of is, but not as much as editing a video.
Yeah.
But there's so much to the whole thing. I easily put in 60, sometimes 80 hours a week, and sometimes you just gotta stop. Mm-hmm. There's always something you could be doing, whether it's your website or social media. There's so many different aspects to the whole thing that I sometimes just gotta stop because I do get burned out, and it's not fair to Michelle to get off work in the evening and here I am still working. She would feel alone, so I have that feeling of guilt. She doesn't put that guilt on me, I just have that guilt. So you can't just constantly work,
right?
Because there's something always to do. Again, we'll answer questions. I'm sure we missed.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we have
missed some here. When we're done here, we'll go back and go through each and every one of these comments.
We do. Speaking of that, we do answer every single comment on our videos. So
we try to. Every once in a while, I'll notice one will sneak by and wondering how we missed it. Yeah. Not quite sure how that happens, but we've noticed it happens sometimes.
Yeah. Not very often, but occasionally, just one or
But
two.
we never deliberately miss one unless you say something nasty.
Then you get blocked.
Our epic RV adventures, 1,000 trails may block it from non-members. They may also not take new reservations, but let you stay. So limited.
This is a good question. Is 1,000 Trails allowing you to stay longer in lieu of what's going on? So
I haven't heard that yet, but that's a great idea. Write them.
Yeah. So our particular membership allows us to stay 21 days in 1,000 Trails, and everybody that has an Encore, the Trails Collection membership, can only stay up to 14 days.
Right.
But
which brings up another point is, and I know there's probably some people that's curious about, the cost of all this. We're working on a spreadsheet that, putting all our costs together. Our plan originally was to keep it up to date, and
that's
just
my fault.
Not really, no. It's both of our faults. We just have too much going on. We can't keep up with a lot of other things, and that's one of them we haven't been keeping up with. But we've kept track. We just need to incorporate it all in a spreadsheet, and we're going to share that. But the 1,000 Trails membership definitely helps you save money.
Yeah.
As a lot of you can attest to.
Yeah, and we purchased our membership on Campground Outlet. No,
Campground membership outlet. Yeah,
sorry.
Kimberly.
So it's a used one. It's a
resale.
Resale. Yeah, that was the word I was trying to think of.
We feel is the way to go.
Yeah. It was probably half the cost, of a one through.
Ours was around $3,500.
Yeah.
And that's a lifetime membership. And
then so you pay that chunk to buy the membership. And then you have yearly dues. And our yearly dues, including the Trails Collection, which gets you the Encore parks. Trails Collection alone, I believe, is like $299 a year. So including that portion, we pay about $900 annually for both 1,000 Trails and Trails Collection together.
Barb, Ohio asked if we've considered going back home to Iowa to ride out the crisis. No.
No. Because it's
hasn't
still
even crossed our mind.
Cold there. We're in the 80s in Florida.
No, because the great thing about this is that you have everything with you. If the virus has an outbreak in your area that's worse than anywhere else, you just start up and go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. You can go to BLM land if you're not familiar with that is. Bureau of Land Management, where you just dry camp, and if you have the capabilities of doing that, we're pretty self-contained, so if worst came to worst, we can do that. And then if you needed to, when you want to drain the tank or get fresh water, just go to like a Love's or a Pilot, and they have a little pull-in area where you can drain your tank if you need to, fill up with water, don't have to really interact with a crowd of people, and move on and go back. But no, we haven't thought about going back to Iowa for that.
Well, for one, we wouldn't be able to see our family because
we're too afraid
to
getting somebody sick.
Yeah. So especially our mothers, and we have new grandson and our granddaughter. So, no. I mean, at this point, we don't feel like going back to Iowa would really be an option.
New Horizons. So
that's a good question.
You want to read it?
Yeah.
So
if someone was So if someone was to go full time right now, would it be bad for them to buy 1,000 Trails membership, or should they just look into another campground membership?
I think 1,000 Trails is still the way to go.
Right.
And a lot of people probably don't like that because it's getting crowded.
Right.
But we have not had any issues. I know this doesn't pertain to the question, but we haven't had any issues making any reservations, even in Florida.
Right.
Because we always do it in advance, as far as we can. But no, I think the 1,000 Trails is the way to go, because
it's one way to keep your costs down, because you can stay at these parks basically free up to 21 days. Throughout the year, as long as you utilize those parks, you have well paid for your annual dues.
Mm-hmm.
We paid for the membership entirely, within the first few months, I would think, last year, of buying
easily. But if you're thinking about buying a 1,000 Trails membership, we strongly suggest going through campground membership outlet, and we don't get anything for that.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because she knows everything. Her and her brother. I think her brother Chad still might be doing this too. But they know absolutely everything about all the memberships, and she will go above and beyond and email, talk late at night, whatever it takes, and explain all the details of all the memberships. And when you call 1,000 Trails, you may get somebody that's new that doesn't really know everything about, kind of like when you go to an RV sales place or a car sales place, they don't always know everything about them. And she's very honest. Before we even knew her, when we first started looking at these memberships, we could tell right away that she was very honest, straightforward, and you can get things with the resales that you cannot get now with the new memberships directly through 1,000 Trails.
So there are different types of plans or packages or whatever, and Doreen Sumner asked a question: how far in advance can you make reservations with your package? Ours particularly is a resale again. It's a VIP Elite, and we can but we can make for 1,000 Trails, we can make it 120 days in advance, which is really, really good, because some are like a lot less than that. But the Trails collection for the Encore parks, everybody is limited to 60 days in advance for those. So those might be a little bit harder to get in, but the key is to call right away when you've hit that mark of the advance, because the minute you wait, especially during a high season usage, you might lose out. The other thing, with the reason we went with the particular plan, the VIP plan, ours has no high use restrictions. So that means, like, especially during the winter season, we are not limited to, say, like a 14-day stay. We could still stay our 21 days. The only exceptions, I believe we have 2 parks in the entire U.S. that we can't do that in, and one is in California.
One, Hershey.
Oh, one's in Pennsylvania, Hershey, and the other one was in, I don't know.
I think it's Washington.
Yeah, I think it was too. So
trying to go back here and see if there's any questions that we missed. In the meantime, I'll let Michelle talk.
Oh, Lord.
If she wants.
So I'm just like looking at some things we wrote down to talk about if nobody was asking questions. But some people have asked, like, how do we stay connected with our internet and everything?
Therese
Habenicht.
Did I say your name right? Hope I didn't slaughter that. Do you ever have problems with internet connection while working? We actually only had a major problem one time, and that was in the West Coast. At the time, all we had was Verizon, and Verizon was horrible along the coast through
Oregon and Washington.
Northern California, Oregon, Washington. And luckily, there was a coffee shop just right down the road that had blazing fast speeds, so we camped out there during the week.
The entire week.
Luckily for Michelle, they had a really good bakery in this coffee shop as well.
So we what do I want to say? We paid
for our internet.
Yeah, because I bought a coffee mug. We ate breakfast and lunch there every day. I don't know how many cups of coffee I had.
Put that on the spreadsheet.
Yeah. But, thank God for that coffee shop, because that was how we kept connected. Other than that, though, now we have, what do we have for our data plans?
Well, now we have an AT&T plan, which is a prepaid plan. It's I'll have to. I'm going blank right now, but it's a specific one that does not have any caps. We can stream whatever. We watch movies all the time. Well, not all the time, but we don't have to worry about our data. And so we have that, and then our phones. Michelle, before we went full time, we had Michelle try Visible on her phone, which is through the Verizon network, and it worked really well. It's been over a year, so I decided I might as well put it on mine as well. So up to 4 people, they have kind of like a family plan thing that they take $5 off your plan each person that comes on. So it's $40 flat straight rate, unlimited data. The data speeds were capped at 5 gigabytes, but they changed that. And I can't remember if it was unlimited now. But we haven't had any problems. Even if we stream with it, it does fine. And then when we added each other together, it took $5 off of each of our bills, and now I pay $35. She pays $35. So we're paying $70 for the 2 phone plans there, and we haven't had any issues traveling, losing coverage, which is really good. And
I have my own work cell phone that I connect through hotspot, and that is also Verizon. And that company plan, so far, again, other than that time in Oregon where we didn't have anything, I haven't had any issues with even while we're traveling, driving down the road, and I am if it happens to be during a work day and I am working, I have not had any issues.
Now
company plan.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Now at one time when we had that internet issue, she had a meeting, and she didn't want to do a meeting right in the coffee shop. So what we did was we got in the car and went down the road a little bit where we had coverage. There was a spot there that it was
by a pond or something. I don't even know what it was. River. It was kind of weird.
But so she had her meeting there in the car, and that worked. There's always an option.
Yeah. But we also have,
again, that's one time in. We've been doing this full time for almost a year and a half.
It was
year and
math is hard.
A year and 4 months, so 16 months now. But
we also have, as a backup, we have a cell booster.
Yeah, we have a WeBoost 4XG. I think it does really well. If you do have a low coverage, it boosts it up. Sometimes we've noticed that, like if I want to upload a video and something's going on with the upload speed, but yet the download speed's good, I've noticed if I plug that in and then the download speed drops down because it's too strong of a signal. It'll hinder your speed if you've got a good connection. But the upload speed shot up. So if we're in an area where the upload's really slow, I'll test it out, do a speed test, and a lot of times it'll help the upload, but not the download, and get a video uploaded quicker. So, little trick there I fell into.
Do you want to scroll down and see if we have any other questions
Yes.
answered?
Find this with the package. We've answered that.
Oh, our Epic RV Adventure says they use Visible too.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah. So if you get 4 people on, you're paying, what is it, $20 each?
Yeah. Well, I think the most they'll reduce it down to is it 25? I think they like every 4 people.
Yeah, something like that. Math is hard.
Yeah, it is.
Says the payroll accountant.
Yeah.
Yes, it's German. German. Okay. Michelle's maiden name is German too.
Oh yeah. Not my maiden name.
But,
my maternal side. I mean my
that's right.
Dad's.
Get myself in trouble.
Mom's side. So maybe another thing that we can explain. Some people have asked in the past is how do we get our mail? Since we are full time, we have this is our home. We do have a domicile in South Dakota. So before we actually hit the road, we went to South Dakota, got our driver's license, claimed that as our domicile, got insurance on the motorhome and the car and everything through there. And then America's Mailbox is who we use for our mail service. They give you an actual address with a PMB, personal mailbox. It does not stand for post office box. It's a personal mailbox. So that is our address, legal address. And they take care of all of our mail forwarding. They also do what's the car tags?
Your registration?
Registrations. Oh. Registrations on your vehicles and stuff like that. They recommend certain, like they can recommend insurance for you. Isn't that where we got our the person to do our income taxes even? Was on that page?
No, we found her on the Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they do offer, guidance on some things. But so we pay like a annual amount to them. They have different levels of what kind of service you need.
Yeah.
And then all we do is we just call up and say we want our mail delivered.
Escapees is another good one to use. And you can do multiple different states with them as well. I noticed, Barb, are you planning on still towing a vehicle with the RV?
We hate the dolly.
Hopefully not with a dolly, if we do.
The dreaded dolly.
We're not, it depends on how small we end up going. To have a, have a feeling we're going to go that small. So probably be either towing or if we went with a fifth wheel. And somebody here I noticed said, I see a fifth wheel in your future.
They definitely have the better home feel, I feel like. Gosh.
MZ, I see a fifth wheel in your future.
Some of the fifth wheels we have been in is like...
They're nice. Oh. And all the room you get with them, yeah, they're nice. We weren't sure about having a big dually to drive around all the time.
Yeah. We still have to kind of... I
kind of like to make it easy for Michelle to be able to do on her own if she had to, if something were to happen to me, if my back goes out.
He's had back issues in the past, and cross our fingers, haven't experienced it yet. But the thing I do like about the, drivable options of motorhomes or a Class C or anything like that is the accessibility to use the potty. Because especially when I drink a lot of coffee and I have, caffeine running through my system,
surprised you haven't had to go yet.
To utilize the potty very often while we travel. So, that's like a ranking top priority.
Nice for me too, so I don't have to pull over so often.
Oh my gosh, he'd be pulling over like every
Yeah,
20 miles.
Thanks, Dan. Dan Papico. I like your videos. They make my day. For sure. Yeah, we're cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. So we live New Horizon. We live in Tennessee. So with escapees, let us still use Tennessee as our domicile. I don't believe Tennessee. They usually pick a state that does not have state income taxes.
So South Dakota, Texas, and Florida are the big three that people have used as their domicile because there's no state tax.
Yeah, there's other states that don't have state tax too,
but there's other factors. So like some states, maybe your insurance that you pay for the motorhome and car might be a lot higher than another state. The easeability of claiming a domicile, so going and getting your driver's license and stuff like that.
South Dakota is really easy. Michelle's mom just lives right next to the line of South Dakota, so we went and stayed with her, and then in the morning went across the line over to the in South Dakota to the DMV. We actually spent the night in a hotel because you have to stay one night in South Dakota, keep your receipt, bring it to the driver's license station, which was right next door
convenient
to the hotel. And we were in and out of there in 30 minutes with South Dakota driver's license. It was so simple.
Then you only have to go back and do that very same thing. Stay one night in a hotel, bring your receipt, and get a new driver's license just every 5 years. So it's like, why wouldn't we do that?
Okay, any other questions here? My goodness, we're at 43 minutes already?
Wow.
Time flies when someone's talking.
Yeah. Right, Tennessee does not have state tax either. But I'm just not sure.
I don't think they use Tennessee, though. I don't remember seeing that. But you can go to Escapee's website and find that information there. We'll have to take a look, too, and we've thrown the idea around
of switching to Escapees versus America's Mailbox. But
none of them are going to be perfect.
Right? Yeah.
There's no such thing as perfect. Hello, our epic RV adventures. Any other questions? Do we have any other things we wanted to? We touched base on the coronavirus, which this will be the first weekend that if we don't get out, that we've actually stayed in the since we've done this the last 16 months.
Because the weekend is when we actually go have our fun and shoot footage for videos and things. So, what are we going to do videos on? Well,
I don't know. We thought about going to the beach if we could find a place that's a little secluded and nobody around. Get some vitamin D, at least enjoy being outdoors.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can just walk around here, hang out, and talk to people from a distance.
Wave. But we do have some videos upcoming in our back pocket that we can throw out there. But yeah, if you have any ideas of what you want us to do a video on, maybe that's something that we can do.
Hey.
Again, keep the social distancing in mind.
Mivier, Missouri. Jamie Prokup. We actually grew up right by the Missouri line. Michelle and I both did. In a little town called Centerville.
They're what is it, 10 miles from the Missouri border?
Yeah. If you know where Unionville, Missouri is, it's just, I don't know, 20 minutes from there. I heard this morning that the state of Florida has closed the beaches.
Well,
they said on the news last night that some of them were still open, didn't they?
Well, they may.
Or was that this morning?
We didn't catch the news this morning, so that could be it. I mean, I know they had already closed down all the beach parking access.
That was from Wandering Snowbirds?
Yeah.
You know what? Did they say something this morning that they closed them all now? Robert, Pancake Day, yeah. Centerville has a Pancake Day the last Saturday in September every year. If you're passing through Iowa, You have to
It's a
go to
big deal.
Pancake Day. Yeah, it's Centerville. When we were kids, Centerville was known as the world's largest square. I don't know if that's the case anymore or not, but it's big to do. When we were growing up, that was like the highlight of our year every year.
Parade and
yeah, free pancakes.
But
that's fun. Oh, because of spring breakers, yeah.
They closed in the beaches because of the spring breakers.
We heard about that too, but we heard all of the beaches weren't closed. They were closing like the big parking lots.
Yeah.
And trying to keep the masses of people. But I think there are a few of the beaches that were closed completely.
And we are currently in Central Florida, but we saw on the news last night that in the county that we are currently in, they have a curfew now in place, mandatory curfew from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. So you cannot be out during that time.
It's weird.
So far, it's just countywide,
kind of
but I'm wondering if the state will.
It's an eerie feeling. We were taking a walk last night, and I told Michelle how, just think how eerie this is. Just think of how, some of the countries that have war going on in their cities, how they feel. Could definitely be worse.
Yeah.
David Rayburn, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Jamie says, my pharmacy is in La Plata, which is 15 miles south of Kirksville. Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Small world.
Yeah. Well, if we don't have any other
questions
at the moment.
I don't know how long the delay is right now.
Yeah.
It was, if you didn't hear it earlier, just chimed in recently. We were doing some tests yesterday, and it was like a 3 to 15, actually 30-second delay sometimes. So, New Horizon, I live in the Pigeon Forge area, so there's always something in the Smoky Mountains to film. Yeah. Oh, we love the mountains.
We would love to see that. We have not been to the Smoky Mountains yet, so.
We have some plans to go to Colorado before long.
Yeah, we are planning to go up a little ways on the East Coast, but
yeah,
hopefully that will still be in the works.
I said Colorado and you said East Coast.
Well, I just meant first, before we head that direction.
Yeah. What advice do you have for anyone that is full-time RVers right now, like campground memberships and everything? Well, that's kind of what we were covering earlier about the 1,000 trails, and that's
mainly to keep your costs down, to utilize those parks. But
I think your chances of the campground shutting down are less likely with 1,000 trails, simply because, again, of the fact that they got so many people that are full-time and rely on them.
Right. We're, just crossing our fingers and praying that they will do that. But I guess another advice is, if you're not planning on traveling a lot on the coast or, southern states or whatever, then to just get other memberships like the RPI, Passport America, Harvest Host. Those you can utilize as
Boondockers welcome.
Boondockers welcome. Utilize as you travel across
I haven't heard much
the US.
about them lately. It's not there, but
what was for breakfast this morning, Kathleen asked?
I don't know. You see something?
Coffee. Coffee is all we've had so far. We sometimes we
know who had the coffee.
Fast in the morning, so the only thing that we have usually is coffee or water up until as long as we have gotten past a 16-hour mark from the
we try
time that we ate in the evening prior to the morning.
New Horizon says you should come to the Mayberry meetup in October 15th through 18th in Mount Airy.
North Carolina.
North Carolina. That'd be nice. Who's going into B?
Oh, really? 26 RV YouTube channels going there. You might have
Thanks for the info.
Yeah,
I have not heard of that one yet.
Yeah.
But, all right. Well, if there's no other questions, we're going to stop.
This was awesome. Well, thank you so much for being our first live stream.
Yes, thank you.
This is exciting.
And if you haven't, hit that thumbs up down there. We'll
and
appreciate
subscribe
it.
And hit the bell to get
Thanks,
notified.
Kathleen. Thanks, everybody.
Video.
And again, if we missed anybody's questions, we will go through here and make sure we've answered everybody. If we've already answered you, we won't reply to it, but we'll do that in the chat thing down here after we sign off.
Yeah.
Ready?
I think it's ready to call it a day.
Have a great weekend, guys, and stay safe.
Stay safe.
Thanks again.
Bye.